For the first time ever, we've got the behind the scenes footage of the game which must have started this vendetta that Kramnik has against Daniel Naroditsky. Look at this game. It was played on the 14th of July, one of the final 5 games they ever played on chess.com before they stopped playing each other 3 months ago after Kramnik rage quit after 11 moves. In this game, Danya destroys the former world champion, current world champion, in just 28 moves. This is ridiculous. Footage from Kramnik to come throughout the game here. Get ready. You haven't seen epic chess like this in a long time. So Danya opens with e4, best by test. Kramnik goes for the aggressive Siciliano, and after pawn to c3, the Alpin variation, named after a French chess-playing rabbit. Very few people know that. We see e6 from Kramnik, Le Francais variation in response, and after d4, d5 for the high 5, and Danya goes e5, sets up a connect 4 and wins himself an all-access pass to next year's chess.com chess rap battle. What a lucky guy. Now we see knight c6, knight f3, and what a miserable bishop. The bad one, developing to d7. Danya goes bishop d3, captures, and this is where the antics begin. Because surely you recapture that free pawn. But no, Danya has the audacity to castle the king, offer a second one. Just listen to Kramnik's reaction to this.
This I missed.
He's not a happy bunny already. He brings this Master Blaster to the half-open file. Danya does the same here, supporting his centre, offering the pawn a second time. What a cheeky boy. Now a6 from Kramnik, still refusing. Why not taking? Well, he's scared of the rapid development. And now Danya does decide to take in the centre. Finally, some law and order restored. And after knight recaptures, pawn takes back here. Vladimir brings that queen out into the game, breaking the opening principles. Surely you first get these ones off the Etienne back row. But after the pawn is attacked, does Danya defend it? This is where it gets shocking. He doesn't do so. He plays knight c3, giving Kramnik a pawn if he wants it for a second time. Listen to this reaction at Kramnik HQ.
What? Pooh. What a move. What a move.
This pawn genuinely on prees, because you can't do any of this ninja kebab stuff. The check is blocked, so fine, the queen is safe. Bishop e3 is best. You can even win a second pawn here. This is a sample line. This is the best one of Stockness Monster. Okay, bishop's in the centre, but 2 pawns to the good for black. This is how the game could have gone, but it wasn't captured. After knight c3, Kramnik wusses out here, goes knight e7. He really ought to take up tiddlywinks these days. And after bishop c2, now defending the centre, knight c6 attacking one more, Danya does indeed develop and protect that central pawn, leaving b2 to hang. But if you capture, this is the ninja line, hit the queen, it's sidelined, and then you come in here, attack these. Apparently this is still a level position, but it looks pretty uncomfortable for black. Big initiative for white. So after bishop e3, we didn't see queen takes on b2, but instead knight a5 played, and Danya plays a very cheeky move in response, knight to a4. These naughty grandmasters, surely they know that their Springer on dem Rimmer is an absolute Wiener Schnitzel, but they do it anyway. Now here's the point, the queen is here, so it gives ground, could have gone to c7 there. Now Danya hops forth, and he knows he's changing the pawn structure. He knows the bishop can capture, but he wants to weaken the dark squares. So Kramnik doesn't have it, goes knight c4 himself, hits b2, the bishop, offers the b7 pawn if Danya wants it, then queen b6, big initiative for black. So instead, bishop c1 is played, underdeveloping. There's a suspicious move if ever we've seen one. Have a listen to Kramnik's reaction on this.
Very often one move is enough indicator. It's just like impossible, absolutely impossible, clear indicator to me. I mean, it wouldn't even like cross remotely my mind, such move. I mean, even in classical game, I'm not sure. In Blitz, no chance at all. So everything is very clear to me.
Who underdevelops a bishop like that? Unreal. And now we see bishop takes on c5. Very risky decision, as we're going to see, because the world champion former is about to crash and burn in 11 more moves. Why not take the pawn immediately? Well, then b3, knight a5 and bishop a3 comes. You're getting mincemeated down here. So queen a5 played instead, preparing to capture like this, and upon b3 played in the game, now there's knight a3 supported by the queen. Bishop hit, saved on d3. Now the pawn drops, but something wicked this way comes. Queen g4. What a femme fatale, and the best defensive move is far from obvious. It's queen f8. Who does that? Honey, I'm home would say the queen, but weird looking idea. Then there's bishop d2 ideas to b4, doing this sort of thing. Very nice geometry on the dark squares. If king f8, more problems with this bishop soon developing onto this diagonal and everything. So what we see in the game is g6. If castles, by the way, there was bishop h6, standard tactic, but this has its own problems. Look at the Swiss cheese on the dark squares. Danya carries on with bishop g5, of course, and after queen c3, threatening the bishop on d3, look at the reaction here of Stockzilla. Does not like it. White completely winning. If Danya can find this move, if you want to pause, try and find the winning tactic, please feel free to do so. The move to play, which Danya finds, is rook to c1 here, given the brilliancy. Because if the bishop is captured, which it wasn't, then you crash through, bishop takes back, and queen b4. Lovely lateral slide. The queen was distracted from c3, defending that square. And not only do you hit the knight, but more importantly, you threaten mate. And how do you stop it? Answer, you just don't. Simply, these are the only options to try and stave it off, but you can run and not hide. This is a checkmate. So, after this move, the bishop was not captured. Instead, Kramnik, apoplectic with rage by this point, retreats this queen to a5. We get takes with check. The bishop recaptures. The rook on e1 hanging, but not for long. Hits that open file. The king runs to the bishop, tries to get away from the attack here, but now queen f4, and you're in a world of pain. If rook f8, then bishop h6 comes. So f5 is played. Desperado, Danya, of course, takes en passant. Many grandmasters do that when they're offered the opportunity, simply to say en passant in your best French accent. And now, after knight b5, desperately scrambling back to defend the dark squares, we simply see takes. With check, a recaptures here, and f7 ends the game because, again, the pawn is promoting or the bishop is helping it go, and you're just getting killed on the dark squares. Imagine queen b4, well, then you can even invade here. All this sort of stuff. So the resignation not premature. What did this lead Kramnik to do?
Okay, of course, report immediately. I mean, no doubt about this player. Absolutely no doubt. So, reporting. Was he a good spot? No, he was not a good spot.
So there you have it, the inside scoop on where this all came from. Kramnik's attack on Danya. And if you want to support him, check out the link in the description below. An X or Twitter post I saw earlier. Let's give Danya some support, get back to playing some chess and not talking about cheating endlessly. Do share this with everyone you know, including your chess playing pets, and don't forget to subscribe to never miss a video. And finally, for another 3 incredible games between Danya and Kramnik that sent him into a rage spiral, have a look at the video on screen. Thanks very much for watching, and see you soon.